hit my intro.
And I'm thrown into a different zone, my own.
What's up, people? This is your boy B-Rhy, and we have a new trailer to react to from Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's, if you didn't know, it's a Marvel game with all the heroes and villains as you'd expect, but it is more of a RPG kind of tactical strategy is something they really call it. So they got a new trailer. Let's check that out, and after that we will check out reveal of actual hands-on gameplay. So we'll check out to see what the game looks like in motion. So let's just take a look.
This world has no hope under your watch.
Okay, they rocking out. Venom, okay. Guess this is more about character reveals right here.
Surrender your pain to me.
Venom like, hell no, bruh.
You whole once more.
Okay, that's the evil chick. Big boss of the game.
Mother won't hurt you.
Look like she's hurting him. There's your boy.
Parker luck. I'm gonna need some backup.
Okay. Nice Spidey outfit. Got Blade in the thing. Is that Scarlet Witch? I'm confused. Definitely like the outfits they got for these characters though. Definitely unique and amazing looking. And she looked like she came straight off of some Diablo or some shit. Okay, she got her other Diablo friends. Oh nah, not Diablo Venom. That's my name for him. And Diablo Hulk. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be some trouble. October 7th though. Okay, pre-order and get Doctor Strange skin. I'm definitely interested in getting this game.
Counting on you again, old friend. 3, 2, 1. That used to always work. Well, it did that one time.
Movie references, love it. Alright, so that is Marvel Midnight Suns, the newest trailer. They showed one previous before that. I'm already liking it. Definitely liking it. Definitely liking it. So now let's just get into the gameplay part of it and see what they have to show us there. Okay.
I was a bit blindsided by the news that the team behind XCOM 2 was working on a Marvel Tactics RPG with a card-based battle system. When I finally got my hands on Midnight Suns recently, I was even more surprised by just how much of an RPG it really is. With a fully
Yay,
explorable
that's good to
quest
hear from
hub,
me.
party member
I love
relationships,
RPGs.
side quests, and even a crafting system, this really is a first for Firaxis. At times, it reminded me more of a BioWare game than anything they've made before. And who doesn't want to hang out with Spider-Man?
Stay safe, ma'am.
I should probably tell you the same thing.
The The setup is a reimagining of an early 90s comic book story arc, that's Midnight Suns with an O, though readers of the comics should rest assured that this isn't exactly the same story by any means, mainly borrowing a few broad plot elements and cool little details. Hydra, everyone's favorite secret society of supervillain fascists, have resurrected the Demon Queen Lilith, who the devs describe as being on the same level as Thanos power-wise.
Oh wow. Okay. So a big threat, understood.
Pretty bad. And to make matters worse, she has the ability to corrupt and dominate all kinds of heroes and villains. I faced off against Fallen Venom, and we also know that demonic versions of Hulk Venom and Scarlet Witch will be joining the forces of evil.
Okay, got Scarlet Witch as well. Ooh, it's not good for the heroes.
On our side either, though. The Midnight Suns, that's with a U this time to be
now
more
this
inclusive,
doesn't look
are made up of
as
several
good,
former Avengers, including Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man.
I'm good with it.
Alongside some less high-profile
like the mask characters look better
Magic,
than like the faceless. I mean the ones
Ghost
with their
Rider,
face out.
and Nico Minoru. There will be 13 playable heroes at launch, one of which is yet to be revealed. But
like
the most
Strange looks
interesting
kind of
of
weird.
them all is your player avatar, a customizable new superhero known as the Hunter.
Nice. Get to play our own superhero and play alongside the
Hunter
others.
is fully voiced, and you get to choose their gender and physical appearance. Lore-wise, they're a child of Lilith, making this story personal from the very outset. I was a little bit put off by how much backstory there was for the Hunter, who is hundreds of years old and has been out of commission for quite some time. It's harder to project yourself onto and roleplay as a character who supposedly remembers the time of the Salem witch trials when you're not given much info to start with. And it made me wonder if having more of a blank slate protagonist might have gone over better. But unlocking new costume options and getting some control over how their power set develops was really
pretty cool.
neat. The Hunter's home and headquarters of the Midnight Suns is the Abbey, a fully explorable open area featuring grand halls and extensive forested grounds, more of which will unlock as the story progresses.
Okay, so they look better here in that little area.
Discover hidden
like sometimes the faces look
and hunt down
off, and then sometimes they look pretty good.
it. But the real charm of this place is that you get to hang out with your super allies.
I did not realize you carried such pain.
I just learned to bury it. You think I can afford a therapist on a superhero salary?
Watching movies with Nico, pumping iron with Captain Marvel, or trading quips with Tony Stark is really what makes Midnight Suns come alive.
Not bad for our first collaboration.
It masterfully captures the feel of those downtime pages in a Marvel book on which the heroes are just chilling together. And while the tone of the dialogue sometimes clashes with the supernatural horror of the main plot, Firaxis described it as Saturday morning cartoon inspired, and it rarely strays outside the bounds of a PG rating, all the characters do feel consistent and authentic.
That's what matters. That's all that matters.
The reward for spending time with the Suns
Not
isn't
really
just
all.
strong voice acting either.
I'm glad to
You can
see
eventually
Blade
level
back,
up your
man.
friendship with each hero,
In a
which
game.
unlocks new options for them in combat, and eventually, snazzy, thematically appropriate new team costumes. You won't be able to be best buds with everyone in a single playthrough, though. There isn't enough time.
Oh, that sucks.
And some of them might just not like you. Magic, the person, wasn't a big fan of my insistence on the irresponsible use of magic, the dangerous force. So you'll need to be a bit picky about who's in your inner circle. Once you head out to kick some supervillain posterior, you'll be introduced to the unique and deceptively deep card-based battle system. Every hero has a deck comprised of 4 attack and 4 support cards, which can be collected, leveled up, and swapped out as you choose. You bring 3 heroes to each mission and draw a number of cards from all of their decks each turn. You always have a set number of cards you can play per turn, but this means you might draw all Iron Man cards on a given turn and thus give Tony the opportunity to gloat later that he did all the hard work. Positioning is also important, but I found it kind of cumbersome to maneuver at first, and you only get 1 free move per turn. Not 1 per hero, 1 per turn. The levels themselves are almost all flat arenas,
One
which is
move per
probably the
turn?
most disappointing part of Midnight Suns thus far. There are a lot of environmental elements scattered around, like heavy objects to throw and structures to vault off of. But after the 5 or 6 hours I played, the fact that every mission takes place in an open warehouse or an open street or in an open field started to get a little bit old. Aside from that, the combat flows well and you can pull off some really cool combos. Every hero has a unique ability of some kind, like Captain Marvel's ability to go binary after playing 3 cards in succession, gaining a temporary boost to armor and damage. Minion enemies like random Hydra goons go down in one hit with any amount of damage, so chain attacks that hit more than one foe can really change the tide of battle quickly. Against
Nice.
big brutes and bosses, Blade's ability to inflict bleed is really useful. No matter what team I brought, the personality and fighting style of the characters really shined through, and I enjoyed figuring
Okay,
out
yeah, that's
how they
kinda
could
dope.
set each other up for a perfect finisher.
Spidey with the kicks on? Did you see his kicks?
Good. You know, being friendly.
Well, I definitely think there's room to make Midnight Suns arenas more interesting, evoking the exciting and often unconventional places superheroes end up doing battle. I was only really able to scratch the surface of this combat system in the time I spent with it. And there are plenty of other ways this tactical RPG makes me really excited, from the excellently animated signature abilities to the chance to discover new and devastating synergies between them. The plot is rich and compelling without feeling convoluted, and it oozes comic book flavor, even when it feels like it could stand to be a little bit less kid-friendly to match its dark premise. And the chance to become best friends with some of my favorite Marvel heroes might be the most enticing part of all. Marvel's Midnight Suns will be springing into action on October 7th. For
October
more,
7th,
check
okay.
out the original gameplay presentation by Firaxis. And for all your other superhero game coverage, stick with
Richard
IGN.
Reed?
The collective works of the universe's greatest sorcerers, and he left them underneath the takeout menus.
Shifting mystical polarities are wreaking havoc on my portals.
Alright. Cool. Okay, so we learned a lot there. Most thing I'm surprised about is just the visuals. Of course the trailers, you know, they have full CGI trailers and everything. Of course they look amazing. The in-game still looks good. I would want to say it looked better the first time I saw it, but I don't know. It still looks good. I'm gonna love it. I love Marvel. I love superheroes. I love their stories. I'm gonna eat this. I love RPGs. I'm gonna eat this up. I'm gonna love this game. It does kind of bother me a little bit, the same way he said about, like, kind of worries me about the battle arenas, how they kind of feel all samey. That'll be a little gripe of mine, but I think if the gameplay holds up enough, then it won't really be a problem. I'll definitely just be into the combat and everything. So yeah, I love that they have showed off Venom, showed off the Hulk, their versions of them being possessed basically by the demon chick. She looks cool herself. From what I remember, she's like an original character for this game. So that's awesome. So that means we're getting basically an original story with, you know, hints of what he was talking about, the comics of the Midnight Suns on there. But it does look good. The gameplay looks good. Let's say that. The gameplay looks good. The idea of it looks good. The look of it looks okay. You know, the actual visuals of the game looks okay. I think they'll polish it up a little bit by the time it comes out. And there's not necessarily anything really wrong with it outside of some like awkward facial animations. But, you know, that's to be expected. I'm definitely looking forward to playing this game. And I'll probably not give a damn about how they look by the time I'm playing it, because I'll just be happy to play with some Marvel characters. So yeah, great showing for that one. Look forward to seeing more in the few months right before release.
Take a look at what I'm playing here, man. This is game of the year, man. Listen to what I say in your ear, man. Cause I'm spitting game of the year, man. I could be playing something